Look up on a clear night, seeing an endless, freezing expanse of dead space. Yet down here, inside suburban homes, humans play God. We take tiny, cold-blooded predators from across the globe, bring them into our living rooms, and build them artificial worlds. Inside those glass boxes, you have absolute control. You mandate when the sun rises, you dictate the weather, and you engineer every single calorie that enters the system. Deciding to keep a reptile is a question of physical and existential capacity. You have to decide exactly how much of your own environment you are willing to sacrifice to rule theirs. Consider the leopard gecko, a compact, highly efficient desert wanderer that tops out at just 10 inches. Now look at the blue tongue skink, a massive 600-gram heavy-duty titan from the scrublands of Australia. You cannot swap one for the other. They demand entirely different levels of spatial commitment and biological engineering. The choice comes down to one practical reality. How much of your physical home and mental bandwidth can you dedicate to keeping an alien system alive? This wireframe shows a 40-gallon tank. At 36 inches long, it fits comfortably on a standard desk. The leopard gecko inside operates as a low-impact organic machine. Its thick tail acts as a built-in battery, storing fat and hydration. Keeping this system running requires a simple input. It operates on a strict, inexpensive fuel cycle of live insects, like crickets and dubia roaches, eating just once every 3 to 5 days. Geckos are crepuscular, meaning they are naturally active during the low light hours of dawn and dusk. Because of this, they run perfectly fine on a simple under-tank heater or small halogen bulb to reach 90 degrees. Without requiring a complex, heavy-duty solar array. That small physical footprint and straightforward biological engine make the leopard gecko a highly manageable biosphere for caretakers living in tight apartments or working with a strict budget. This is a 4-foot by 2-foot wireframe enclosure for a blue tongue skink. It occupies 8 square feet of floor space, about the size of a twin mattress, and weighs over 60 pounds once fully loaded. A massive animal requires a complex omnivore engine. Fueling a skink requires active meal preparation, combining high-quality canned dog food with chopped collard greens, squash, and specific proteins. Skinks also require strict solar radiation to keep their bone density intact. You have to install specialized fixtures that output Ferguson Zone 3 to 4 UVB. This is a specific metric of ultraviolet light, mimicking intense, direct outdoor sunlight. This chart, tracking 15-year lifetime costs, shows exactly how those inputs add up. The cheap insect fuel keeps the gecko's lifetime cost around $4,000, while the skink's complex diet and constant UVB bulb replacements push its cost well past $7,000. The skink demands serious environmental engineering. It is a room-altering piece of living infrastructure. The scale of these machines dictates how you interact with them. Pulling out a 600-gram skink means hauling an animal with real gravity and momentum. A leopard gecko, by contrast, weighs 80 grams. You lift it with one hand. It rests calmly in your palm, moves slowly, and is highly forgiving of any handling mistakes a beginner might make. The blue tongue skink requires 2 hands and your full attention. When brought home, you must actively tame it to overcome its instinct to hiss and flash its blue tongue as a defensive bluff. The sheer physical size of the animal determines the daily friction of handling, and ultimately the kind of reward you get from interacting with it. So you have to audit your own living situation. Do you have a permanent, heavy-duty 8-square-foot void in your home? Are you prepared to actively research and fund a strict solar radiation grid and a highly specific meal prep routine? Do you want a discreet companion that operates quietly in the background, or a large, dog-like presence that dominates the room? Building either of these worlds is incredibly rewarding, but forcing a massive biological machine into an apartment or budget that cannot support it guarantees the collapse of your pocket universe. We are all tiny specks floating through an indifferent, chaotic void, and so are the animals we keep. Taking total responsibility for a closed biosphere, controlling the weather, and perfectly sustaining a life requires careful science and genuine commitment. To get the engineering right, Krawlo has mapped out the exact tank dimensions, UVB fixtures, and dietary guides you need for both of these animals. Go to krawlo.com/guides/leopard gecko versus blue tongue skink. You can find the exact link in the description below. While you're down there, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the science of animal care, because mastering the science of these tiny biospheres is the ultimate rebellion against the cold, empty space outside.